Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. So today we will be discussing on how you can build a solid foundation in your financials for many years to come, especially when you are a fresh graduate who just started working. Alright, so let's get started. So these simple tips are not just catered for fresh graduate who just started working, but in fact it is more generalized to the public or anyone who has working for a few years or maybe in their late 20s or early 30s. The general rule of thumb is the earlier you start, the easier it will get to reach that strong foundation. So please watch this video to the end, and probably these tips will help you down the line. And if you have already started working for a few years and you seem to be struggling financially, go through these tips again and see where you stop. From that point on, you can pick it up again and continue down the line. So tip number 1, as a fresh grad, open a brand new bank account and throw away your student's account. I'm not sure if this is applicable to us Malaysians, but I believe that some bank accounts for other countries, probably like US or UK, they usually will issue you a student account whereby most of your grants or your student loan funds are being transferred into that. Usually student account has a lower interest rate compared to normal account. So this is what you want to target for. Open a brand new bank account when you start working, as this will help you to get a bigger or a larger interest rate compared to a student's account. The next tip, number 2, is to start budgeting. Budget according to your salary. Ideally, you should split it into 3 components: 50%, 30%, and 20%. 50% goes to things that you need, things that you cannot survive without. Let's say a house rental, or food, or car and petrol. These things are certainly things that you would need to go to work every single day. 30% is for things that you want, things that you can live without even if you do not have it, such as going to the cinema or having a good meal or going or hanging out in a club or something like that. Those are things that you want, but not necessarily things that you really need. And the last 20% will be for your savings. So I have emphasized this many times in previous videos, and I believe the first correct thing you should do is to pay yourself after you have gotten your first paycheck, or actually any paycheck. Set aside about 20% and pay yourself first. Take that money and put into a separate account or put into fixed deposit or something like that, and forget about the money, because studies shown if you can see a large amount of cash in your bank account, your likelihood or your tendency to spend that money increases. Put aside that 20% and make your bank account looks like it's running out of balance, and then you will suddenly go into panic mode and suddenly you will be able to budget your money more efficiently. This is the reverse psychology of actually spending more, but actually you're saving more. The next one would be to start building an emergency fund. In a crisis like today, what we have now, where there's an illness going on, there's a pandemic going on, it is very important to always prepare for situations like this. Set yourself to establish a minimum of 3 months of your take-home salary. So if let's say your take-home salary is 3,000, at least prepare 9,000 as your emergency fund and put it aside into your fixed deposit or anywhere else. If you have more than that, even better. If you have 6 months, you have more financial stability to get yourself through harder times. If you have more than that, well, that is up to your imagination on what you want to do with the money. But obviously, saving is definitely better that way. If you have more than 12 months of your take home pay saved up, I think that will be a signal that you can start investing more aggressively into other portfolios, like investing into stocks or bonds or anything slightly riskier than your conventional passive investment like FD. Number four is to build your credit score. A lot of people take credit score for granted. Credit score is what determines how good of a loan you can get in terms of interest rate. A person with a good credit score usually can get a loan with a lower interest rate. So how to establish a credit score? Apply yourself a free for life credit card, a starter credit card, a basic credit card. Spend all your expenditure using that credit card, and at the end of the month, pay everything in full. That way, the bank will have a record of your spending and your paying, and if you're a good paymaster, definitely you'll be assigned a good credit score. A good credit score is a score somewhere higher than 700. That will be considered a good credit score. Aim for 700, if not higher. Banks will love you and they will offer you the best interest rate, the best perks, and the best service for those people who really, really deserve it. Plus, it also gets you bargaining power. You can jump around banks and ask for the best interest rate, and you make the bank compete among yourself. I have actually made a video about credit score. If you have not watched it, you can feel free to click the card over here and it will bring you directly to the video. The next one, number 5, is to get yourself an insurance policy. This is very, very important as well. In recent times, the cost of medical services has been increasing exponentially year after year. Even just to treat a simple high fever with a 2-night stay in a hospital will easily cost you almost 10,000 ringgit. And how are you going to afford that kind of money when a basic illness itself costs about 10,000 ringgit? If you have a more severe illness, wouldn't it cost more? Would it cost more than 50,000, 100,000 ringgit? And definitely you will not be able to afford it. That is why insurance is definitely there to protect you and to help you when you need it the most. Just go for a basic insurance like something to cover your medical, your life, and some insurance nowadays also have what we call as investment-linked insurance, whereby a small allocation of your insurance premium is put aside as investment, and upon maturity, let's say like 30 years from now, you are able to take out that accumulated chunk or accumulated sum that you have invested over the many, many years. And if you're a fresh graduate who just started working, you are young, you are fit, you are healthy, this is the best time to get your insurance policy, because insurance premium scales with your age. And if you get the insurance policy when you are older, the likelihood of you having an illness is higher. And insurance would not usually cover people with existing problems unless you pay more. The more you pay, the more they cover. So while you are young, do yourself a favor, get yourself an insurance policy as soon as you can. If let's say you get it when you're 40 and you have joint problems, heart problems, the likelihood of insurance covering you is definitely very low. The next one, number 6, is to start working on your debt. So those things that you owe, like your student loan or car loan, housing loan, start working to pay down your debt. Always prioritize the loan with the highest interest rate. And if you are stuck in a financial situation where you have enough money to only pay, let's say, 2 out of the 3 loan, which one should you not pay? Obviously, the wisest choice, the best choice is to pay the ones with the higher interest rate. Let's say housing loan and your car loan. Student loan for us, PTPTN, has one of the lowest interest rate. So if you want to default on that, you can, but you have to appeal down the line to get yourself not blacklisted by our immigration. And lastly, start investing. Investing is not a simple matter. Investing requires a lot of patience, a lot of research, especially those with a riskier approach like stocks and bonds and whatsoever. Go with the simple one first. Start with a passive one as you start working and start getting your salary. I have emphasized FD or fixed deposit many times, so this is one of the safest approach, if I can call that, to getting free money. Every month, when you take 20% from your salary, always put it in FD so that you can get a bit of free money from whatever you have invested. Down the line, when you're financially more stable or your foundation is stronger, you can move on to, let's say, ASB or Amanah Saham. And even further down the line, when you have more money, obviously you can go for a riskier approach. This is what we call as diversifying your portfolio. So yes, these are just a few simple steps to help you build a strong, stable foundation financially that will set you off for many years to come. Remember, the earlier you start, the easier this gets. It is like an uphill climb whereby the later you start, the more you struggle, the more you have to work. So if you have listened to the tips and make it to the end of the video, I thank you so much for watching this video and supporting my channel. And feel free to leave a like if you enjoy this content. Subscribe and ring the notification bell as well if you want to see more contents like this. Take care, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one.